Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardee's. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no slap. Got a thirst for killing. Think about it. Woo!
There he is, Slim Money Mason in the building, Jim Gum in the building. I'm Andy Morris, and you are listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. And we have some breaking news as we speak. It has just went final. The FIFA World Cup semifinal is final. Spain has defeated France 2-0. So Spain will be, a.k.a. Team Chattanooga, will be moving on to the World Cup championship.
I love it, man. I'm so happy to see Spain making it all the way to East Rutherford. Now they'll play the winner of England and Argentina, which that game will take place tomorrow around this same time. They should be over with about this time. But I'm excited to see Spain making it all the way to the championship.
So maybe we'll bring in tomorrow's show with more breaking news.
Potential.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. France was the team that I thought
You sound excited, Jacob.
Andy's been giving me a hard time.
They were the
mine.
odds-on favorite. They were.
He's got to give me 15 minutes of catching up with drinking my nice little energy drink right here.
I got you right here, too.
I know. What you did is you started letting me pop the can, and you started drinking yours a little bit earlier.
I got to get the energy going.
That's why
That's
you
right.
get so hyped up and so excited so quickly. But no, I thought France was probably the odds-on favorite to win. So I don't know that you can call Spain beating them an upset.
They were the number 3 team.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I guess it's like you can, but
that's what semifinals are made of, though. And
Yes.
this is a biased opinion from a guy who comes from the wrestling world where everything is bracketed. I get basketball has obviously March Madness and the playoffs, but that's one time a year. And we see some tournaments, occasionally throughout, to kick off the season, or now with the NBA with their mid-season tournament that they do. I forget what it's called. It's such an embarrassment.
Yeah, it is an embarrassment.
But being a bracket guy, I think a lot of people would agree with me on this. The best action, like everyone lives for a championship. Everyone lives for a finals. But the best, most exciting round is that semifinal round because everyone is fighting for their life. They pour it all out there. Everyone seems to be a little bit more conservative once they've made that championship. They don't want to make a mistake in the championship. But in the semifinals, for whatever reason, that brings out the best in every competitor because everyone wants to get to that final round.
Yeah, you don't remember the teams that lose the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship games, but you do remember the teams that make it to the Super Bowl. Even if they lose, they made it. And I think a lot is true here. I mean, France, we don't know if had they won today, if they go on and win on Sunday. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But we'll forget about France. By the way, I didn't know if y'all know this. Do you know they have a consolation game in the World Cup? The World Cup consolation game is going to be happening on Saturday in Miami. So the loser of England and Argentina will play France in Miami, or Miami Gardens, I guess, on Saturday. So, yeah, this is I'm not going to say it's a massive upset, but like you said, Jacob, France was the betting favorite.
yeah. So how do y'all feel about constellation games?
I hate them.
Consolation games?
Yeah.
I think at a certain level, like
As a wrestler, for you, like there's got to be a third place. There's got to be a
yes.
in
a team sport thing, like why are we playing for third?
Yeah, like to me,
you've lost our attention once you get to that point, and that's not fair. That's a very unfair, accurate take. Because those guys pour their heart in, and again, a guy coming from a sport like wrestling, where a bracket battling through and coming back and getting third sometimes is the most impressive route of anybody. Especially if you suffer an earlier upset, the way this is set up, it's set up for the guys that are beating the semis to go play for that third place. And so I don't want to take anything away from those guys because it's after you suffer that loss, it's hard to come back. So whoever does come back and is able to kind of grit it out and win, hey, tip of the cap to you, props to you. But we lose our attention. Our attention on that is lost because we are worried about the trophy.
Yeah, and like you said, good on you for coming back. It's I feel like as a competitor, it's really hard. Like once the rug has been pulled, right, and you're no longer competing for the cup, the championship, the whatever it is. It would be hard for me to put as much effort in as I would if I was competing for that championship.
I remember back when the NCAA tournament had a consolation game, and of course, back then they didn't even televise the darn thing, and it was basically, nobody cared. It was one of those, gosh, we were wanting to play for the national championship. Oh, we're playing for a third place, whatever. And I don't know if y'all know this, but you do the research. The NFL used to have what they call the playoff bowl. You ever heard of that? Playoff bowl was, I think, from 1960 to 1969. The NFL, the teams that got beat in the semifinals played in what they called the playoff bowl. They played it down in Miami at the old Orange Bowl for third place in the NFL, and nobody cared. I shouldn't say nobody, but the attendance was poor. They did it for 10 years.
It seemed as if nobody cared.
Yeah, but they did it for 10 years. And once the NFL and AFL merged in 1970, that went away. But they actually had that. So you've had a consolation game in the old NFL, and you had consolation games in the NCAA tournament. And guess what? They're no longer around. You know why? Because people got to a point where like, yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Nobody cares about that game. A game, if they created a game, I'll wait. What were you going to say? Because you're going to continue to talk on that point.
I was going to say it's kind of like, I was going to be funny, and I've kind of lost the momentum now, but I was going to say it's kind of like this show where Jacob's third place, he's the consolation prize, and nobody cares.
Yeah, see, I should have just interrupted.
He should have just kept going.
He should have. But you would talk about a true consolation game of some sort. If the NFL went to instead of just giving the number one pick to the worst team, if you had the worst team and the second worst team play a game,
I don't hate that,
and whoever wins it gets the number one pick, that would be must-see TV.
I don't hate that idea, honestly, because it has relevance. It means something.
And you see these teams tank at the end of the season, and so it forces them
one more meaningful game
to play one more meaningful game.
Y'all know what I've always had this mindset of how to prevent teams from tanking or making it to where there's no advantage in it. Obviously, the worst team is going to be in this, but to me, you take the worst team with the worst record and the first team that missed out on the playoffs, the first team that's out, and you have a coin flip. One of them's going to win the first pick, the other one gets the second pick. And you do the same thing with the second worst pick or the second worst record and the second team that missed out on the playoffs, and they do the same thing. So you might be just missing the playoffs, and you may get the number one pick, but that keeps people from tanking.
Well, one thing that would do, I'm not saying that I agree with doing that I want that to happen. It is interesting, though, because you're taking a team that's on the brink of being in the playoff and making them in theory, making them a little bit better with a top pick.
Yeah, that's my philosophy.
Which makes a more competitive league as a whole, except when you get stuck in the bottoms, you might be stuck in the bottom.
Well, it's not like you're going to miss out on a high pick. You're going to get either the first or the second pick.
How do you guys feel? Obviously, we see what the NBA does, and we've seen other leagues go to it, but how do you guys feel about a draft lottery? Do you like that idea, just leaving it up to chance who gets possibly a franchise-changing individual to be a part of their team with a first overall pick?
Conspiracy theorist Jacob doesn't. I can't get in on that.
I prefer the way the NFL does it. Just me personally, but there's not a good. Are the teams going to tank? Yeah, they've always done that. They've always tanked in the NFL and the NBA and other sports. I don't know how you can totally eliminate that, but I don't know.
Wasn't it Dallas that got the first pick in this last year's draft after they traded
The Mavericks, yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
When they traded Luka.
And they've already got they've already got Cooper
and
flag.
but they had like a 4 point. They had that's who
A
it was.
4% chance.
They went and got. They had a 4% chance
Yeah.
of getting it. So they make this blockbuster trade to the Dodgers. Then all of a
Dodgers
sudden,
and Lakers.
or Lakers. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't
LA.
like the Dodgers here. Come on, man.
LA, same thing.
Los Angeles.
But they make this blockbuster trade, and then all of a sudden, a 4% chance hits, and they're the first pick. See, there's just too much speculation there. I like the fact that if you had the worst record, you get the. But to me, and to make that interesting, like this year, there were like 3 teams within like a game of each other that were the worst teams in the league. They all could use it.
Right.
So like, let's make them play.
Let me ask you guys this. You brought up bracketing also earlier in this conversation, and the FIFA World Cup uses true bracketing. Do you like it? And there are situations, in fact, the NFL does this, where they reseed once the first round's done. Because, like, the number one team doesn't always, sometimes they would have played maybe not the worst team because maybe there was an upset in the first round of the playoffs, and they'll reseed it to where the first number one seed is going to play the worst team every time. I don't like reseeding. I like you play who's in your bracket, the way it's bracketed, starting day one, and if there's an upset, there's an upset.
Yeah.
But the NFL does not truly reseed because they don't truly seed until after that first round is done. What Super Wild Card's done. But I'm just curious how you guys feel. I do not like reseeding at all.
I don't either. I prefer like when a bracket's put out again, and this is where this kind of goes back to the wrestler in me that every weekend when you compete, you're in a bracket. I like, as a competitor, as a coach, being able to kind of map out my path. Like, this is what I got to do. This is who I could potentially see. I don't like just kind of flying by the seat of my pants when it comes to any type of tournament.
Those reseeded type brackets.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
It
I
makes
don't like
me
that.
either.
Yeah, I don't know. The only one that I feel like could benefit potentially for that is the College World Series. Just because there's so many teams involved with the super regionals, and then like if you're truly the number one seed, and like you make it through, and then you're playing like
another power,
but then the 7 seed is playing a team that just so happened to upset the number 2. Like
you're right. I see both sides.
There are instances where you could sit there and say, this is a little unfair, but at the same time, you know what you're getting into the moment that you're seeded.
Yeah, true. Well, much like the FIFA World Cup, when you have those pools, as they're referred to as pool play, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't necessarily, because there's games that are irrelevant taking place whenever you do pools, just like we saw with Team USA. They last
played a
game,
meaningless game.
It was a pointless game that all it was is an opportunity to get someone red carded. And we talked about that on this show, like how you should approach it, what's the right way, what's the wrong way. You shouldn't have to have those conversations. Every game in a tournament should be meaningful.
I agree.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate here.
Bring it on, Jacob.
I don't hate it. Like, if you do your job and you get to the point where that game no longer matters, then it no longer matters, and now you get to get the second guys in and prepare them just in case there's an injury. There's
an approach. There's no doubt.
In case, like, you're in the 110th minute and your striker is literally like can't stand anymore. You're able to pull somebody up. To me, I'm okay with it. Because, yes, there were some meaningful games or meaningless games, but there also were games that like came down to you have to win this or this team has to do this. I'm okay with pool play because you get lots of different outcomes.
Well, I don't know if y'all have been reading this, but the FIFA is considering going to a 64-team bracket in 4 years. Now, they haven't made that decision. What was it, 48 this year? So even this year was the most they've ever had. They're considering doing a 64. Now, if they do 64, I don't know if they're going to have pool play or not. To me, you go 1 versus 64, 2 versus 63, and so on, and you just don't. Now, how you seed them, I don't know. I don't know how they seed these teams. I don't know if there's a way to do that prior to maybe pool play. But if they're talking about going to 64,
I feel like you would have to ramp up your international play in some. There's going to have to be some kind of metric.
Meaningful games, right?
Like there's going to have to be some meaningful games in between those 4 years that determine your ranking. Because if we're just saying that France is the best team because 4 years ago or, 2 years ago they won the Euro. Like, to me, there's going to have to be some meaningful games played by these international teams for you to move to just a purely 64 and them just seeding you wherever they feel like you're appropriately seated.
I love brackets.
I do too.
I love them. I love the NCAA tournament. I love even
College football
college
playoff.
football. We've got the NBA does it. I mean, all these leagues they do it. I love seeing and trying to figure out. If they win this, then they'll get the winner. These guys and these guys. I love that stuff.
What, Jacob, was it you that kind of pitched a theory of making the entire college football season essentially a tournament? Was that you that had said that?
I don't know how you do that.
No,
You got 138 teams playing 12 games. I mean, that bracket would be from here to the
So
ceiling.
it would be within conference, though. So you would start within conference, and then
And then you don't play everyone though. You got an 18 team league or 16 team league like the SEC. How do you do that when not everyone's playing each other?
And I'm trying to. It might have been someone like Josh Pate or someone that threw the idea out there. I was thinking. I was trying to give Jacob some credit.
It wasn't me.
But so
you throwing me and Josh Pate in the same conversation,
You'll take it?
I'll take it. Thank you. I
So
appreciate you.
the idea behind that would be you're getting each week you're either hosting this week or the following week you're on the road, but you take the best teams in the conference and you're playing important football each week. Once you get so far into the season, you start playing those matchups after you've kind of played, I guess, which would be like the NFL, your division.
Yeah.
You play those matchups. Then after those are done, you start placing, and that's kind of a tournament leading into the SEC championship, the Big Ten championship, where you're then separated by, this team won the regular season tournament in the SEC. They're the number one seed. Same with the Big Ten. And you kind of spread everyone out that way. I thought in theory you would see some unique matchups and you would see a high level of football, but that's a lot of what ifs. That's kind of a pipe dream.
I remember when Oklahoma and Texas joined the SEC, there was talk about having pods within the Southeastern Conference. You'd win your pod, and then you would advance into like a
division in the
a
NFL.
semifinal, and then a finals in the SEC championship game. That didn't happen, obviously. In fact, with the SEC, they just eliminated divisions altogether. In fact, all right, trivia question: who's the only conference that still has divisions? There's one conference in college football still has divisions.
So the Big Ten's eliminated theirs.
Yep.
And I believe
There's 10 conferences, only one has divisions.
so. The ACC eliminated the Atlantic and the Coastal. They eliminated that. I know for a fact. The Big 12 has eliminated theirs. Is it the Mountain West?
Nope.
Is it like
No, it's either Sun Belt or Conference
gonna
USA.
say-
It's one of the two.
Sun Belt.
Yeah,
Sun Belt,
I was
yeah.
going to say, is it the Sun Belt?
They're the only ones still holding out, so the West plays the East in their championship game every
I'll
year.
give Jacob the credit on that
Whereas
one.
obviously the the Big Ten, the SEC, it's number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. And the reason a lot of it had to do with is that the SEC was a prime example. There were a lot of years the West was significantly better than the East. And the West
And
was,
vice versa.
and the West was winning the SEC championship game on a semi-regular
Now,
basis.
if you recall back, there were some
That's
years
before Georgia became
Yeah.
Georgia.
There were some years, and this is during the Mark Richt era at Georgia, where Georgia was solid, but Florida was top dog. Tennessee was right there on their
Wait a minute.
heels.
Here's one. When the Big Ten got away from the leaders and legends, which was ridiculous, by
That
the
was
way, and they went to
very
East-West,
ridiculous.
the East beat the West every single time in the Big Ten. A West team never won the Big Ten championship game.
And that's because Michigan and Ohio State were
And
both
Penn
in the
State.
East. Yeah.
all three of your best teams were in the same division.
And you can bark and say I wish it would go back, and really I think the conference expansion has done more damage to these conferences than getting rid of the East and the West. Like if we were still sitting at 12 or 14, to me it would still feel kind of like normal. It'd still feel like you would have two of the best teams. The problem is you can't play everybody in a single year.
No.
And we were going like Georgia still to this day has not been to Texas A&M.
Is that no? And they've been in the league since 2014.
Think about that.
That's insane.
We are in 2026.
It's hard to believe they've been in the league that long, first of all.
It really is. And I think 2020 they were supposed to, but the COVID thing kind of messed up everything. Now, here's one thing to think about this. This year, the SEC going to 9 conference games. The teams, you got half the league, 8 of the teams are going to be playing 5 home games, and the others are going to be playing 4 home games. So the teams playing 5 home games, that's an advantage. I don't care what anyone says. That's an advantage. And so I'm going to be interested to watch and see the teams that are playing 5 home games, are they the more successful teams and the ones that end up in the SEC championship game more so than the teams that are only playing 4 home games? It'll be interesting to kind of monitor that.
And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of situations where teams say, well, if we would have caught it on this year, where if we had that 5th home game, if that would have been
Florida,
this year.
Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas, they're in a unique situation because they
That
play
neutral
those
site.
neutral site games.
Yeah, which, by the way, Florida, Georgia, world largest cocktail party is going to be taking place Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year.
I know. They should be played on campus.
I'll
these
be
2
honest.
years,
I'll be
man.
honest with you though. I'm kind of excited about it being in Atlanta. I don't have a dog in the hunt at all as far as that game goes, but that is an atmosphere as a fan of college football. I'd like to go be a part of that, just to say I did it.
What's interesting is that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to continue to play at that stadium for this year. 2027, they're not going to be able to play that. But this year, I think the capacity at the stadium in Jacksonville is like 47,000 because half the stadium is going to be under construction, so no fans can sit there. So they're going to have a small crowd each and every Sunday. It's
going to be
in Jacksonville. That's why Georgia and Florida's like, why aren't they playing in front of 47,000 people?
Yeah.
We got to have 80,000 plus.
Yeah. It's a game in Jacksonville is going to be like a game at Northwestern in the past couple of years,
Yeah,
where you're
exactly.
Playing in a pop-up stadium essentially.
But Northwestern, boy, their new stadium is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Even though it's smaller in capacity, it is going to be a nice facility.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect. Hey, we are going to talk some more college football later on in the show, but the breaking news right now, Spain has defeated France in the FIFA World Cup semifinals 2-0. So once again, Spain, a.k.a. Team Chattanooga, moving on to the championship there. We're happy for those guys as we continue to follow the FIFA World Cup. With that, we are going to take our first break of the show. When we come back, Jacob, we got to talk about it. Jim, the home run derby from last night. What an unbelievable finish. Why it was unique. Coming up right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
A most elevated experience has arrived at Hardee's. Prime rib. Tender, succulent prime rib. Bathed in au jus. Placed upon char-broiled Angus beef. The new prime rib experience with a burger exuding fancy flavor at a not-so-fancy price. Just $5.99 for My Rewards members on the app for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Not valid for use within a combo or in combination with any other offer or discount.
If hip or knee pain is holding you back, it's time to move forward with the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained total joint surgeons specialize in advanced hip and knee replacements, personalized around you and the life you want to live. At CSMO's dedicated orthopedic surgery center, our surgeons lead the way with the latest techniques, like direct anterior hip replacement and quad-sparing knee replacement in a setting that's safe, efficient, and promotes faster recovery. Thousands have trusted Center for Sports Medicine with their hips and knees. Take the next step at sportmed.com.
As we celebrate the nation's 250th birthday, Don Ledford GMC is offering employee pricing to everyone and low 1.9% interest for 60-month financing on all new 1500 GMC Sierras. You heard it right. You can buy and drive any new 2026 1500 Sierra for the next 5 years, and you'll pay what we pay for this industry-leading truck, and then pay only 1.9% interest for up to 60 months. And you won't even have to make your first payment till after Labor Day in September. Plus, we offer special trade-in allowances, rebates, and incentives on our other trucks and SUVs. Special lease programs, too. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford GMC. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details. Don Ledford GMC, where we say yes. GMC, we are professional grade. Se habla español. Monthly payment is $17.49 for every $1,000 you finance. Average example down payment is 10.9%. Must finance through GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify for incentivized rates. Not available with leases and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 8/3/2026.
It's time to register for Bradley County Parks and Recreation Youth Fall Ball, Baseball, and Softball. Register online at bradleyparks.com. Deadline is July 31st. bradleyparks.com or call 728-7035.
Buckner and Fike Funeral Home and Cremation has reopened under the leadership of Ralph Buckner Jr., renewing commitment to affordable, dignified care. Buckner and Fike Funeral Home and Cremation is here to provide the families of Cleveland and Bradley County with the most affordable, compassionate, and dignified funeral services available, restoring trust, strengthening community ties, and setting a new standard for affordability without compromising dignity. Visit BucknerFike.com.
Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
For decades, Best Buy Metals has been shaping more than metal. We've been building strength, one roof, one wall, one community at a time. This isn't just roofing and siding, it's steel formed with purpose, made to withstand difficult storms, because what we make doesn't just cover buildings, it protects what matters most. Get inspired today by visiting bestbymetalroof.com. Best Buy Metals, designed to inspire, made to protect, driven to serve.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Mayfield Dairy Chocolate Milk is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises, rich in calcium and vitamin D. Get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at numerous locations in our area. Find out more at mayfielddairy.com. And, of course, we love talking baseball after we'll do a live read from Mayfield. And tonight is the All-Star game. Jacob. But, man, we had a heck of a home run derby last night, did we not?
We did. And really, I wanted to get your guys' feelings on the home run derby in general. You know, new format. I say new format.
New platform as well.
Yeah, back to more of an old school format.
Yeah.
A new platform on Netflix. How do you guys feel like that went? And then, you know, one thing that I was worried about was with the time. You know, sometimes that event can kind of drag on. And so when the first batter, William Contreras, got up, it took him 7 minutes and around, I think, 7:32, something like that, for his whole round to finish. How do you feel like it went? What were some goods? What were some things that you think that they could work on next year?
So I want to start with the production side of it. And you mentioned it being on Netflix. I think they hit a home run with a few things, and I think they struck out with their eyes closed on a few things as well. One thing that Netflix was trying to do is appeal to some of the other stuff that they're doing. So I'm going to start with my personal dadgum segment and complain about one of my favorite comedians, actors of all time, Will Ferrell. He had no business being a part of the home run derby, and I love the guy. I love just about every movie he's ever done. And the moronic goofball comments did not fit. It wasn't the place. And I think he was even kind of like, what do they want me to do here? Like, why am I sitting here talking about these guys as they're being introduced? So anyone
he's talking about his Netflix gig.
And he was kind of in the role of his character of the new show on Netflix, Hawk, about the golfer, washed up golfer pretty much. And as the players, the participants of the home run derby were being announced, he's like goofing off. And who was the kid from the White Sox? He goes, yeah, this just makes me wish Shohei Ohtani was here. I kind of cringed a little bit when he said that, like, because there's another Japanese guy. He's like, this makes me wish Shohei. And that kid's probably thinking, yeah, great. Like, thanks for the confidence in what I'm about to do. So I feel like that was completely out of place, not the time or the place to do that. Again, love Will Ferrell, hated that part of the home run derby and the production. I love the fact that they had a home plate that looked like a boxing ring, kind of channeling the Philadelphia, of course, the setting for the famous Rocky movie series. And then you bring out Michael Buffer to hype everyone up. I think that was great. I love that. That's bringing the energy, appealing to the host town. I like that stuff. What I didn't like, and I'm going to be the guy to say it here, and what's her name?
L. Duncan.
Elle Duncan. She was the host.
Used to be at ESPN.
She did. And she was the host for Netflix of the whole Home Run Derby. And the whole time, and she had I think she asked good questions. She was a great reporter. When she was interviewing Walker after he won the whole thing, which we're going to get to eventually, I promise, she asked very good questions. She asked his family very good questions. But I don't think she was a good host of the whole event, because you've got someone there that works for MLB Network. And I'm not saying this because she's a female. That's not why I'm saying this. You've got all these – you had Ken Griffey Jr., who was a part of it last year, sitting in the stands watching. I get it. Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, we mentioned those are two of the four, the only two living 700 home run club guys. Yep. But how about the guy that – basically, Jacob, you referred to it, the home run derby of the 90s. Everyone thinks Ken Griffey Jr. That was the heyday of the home run derby. That guy needs to be incorporated. That's the guy that needs to be talking about the event, talking about hitting the warehouse in Baltimore. Like, what are we doing with Elle Duncan hosting this thing when you've got so many other people?
I want baseball people in.
Like Lauren Shahadi was there also. She works for MLB Network. I don't know if you got – she was the one kind of doing the siding. She's so much better than Elle Duncan because she knows ball. Mm-hmm. That's who I would have rather heard hosting that show. Bob Costas, Carl Ravitch.
Yeah, Carl Ravitch is the guy that for me.
Or say, hey, Chris Berman, what's it going to take to get you to do this one more time? Those are the people I want to hear in the home run derby, not Elle Duncan. Like she asks good questions. She's a good reporter. She is not a good host of the home run derby.
You want to know one of my major qualms was, and y'all probably won't even, this wouldn't have affected you, but it affected me. So last night I had to listen to the first part of the home run derby in the car on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Do you remember who was doing it on ESPN?
I think it was
radio?
Carl Ravitch.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I believe it was Carl Ravitch.
And we went to support a young man here in town that's battling cancer. They had a spirit night at Witt's, and so we went and got some ice cream. I was listening to it in the car, and then when I got home, I turned on Netflix, and it was nowhere to be found on the front screen.
I saw that too.
They had WWE up there.
I had to search it.
I had to search. It's been promoted
on the home screen of Netflix.
That is ridiculous.
That's a flaw.
I have seen it advertised for the past week all over Netflix. I've been watching. There's a really good series. Been watching it, and I've been seeing Home Run Derby coming on Monday. Then when I come to turn on my TV, I have to go to the search bar to search for the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
This is a live event. It should be the. If you want to put WWE up there with it, I'm fine with that.
On Paramount Plus, what did you have to do to watch the Conor McGregor fight?
It's the first thing that pops up.
You open the app, there it is.
It's right there. And so it should have been like a split where it had two options where you either select the Home Run Derby or you watch your – because they've got a long-standing relationship with the WWE. Yeah. So I understand them wanting to throw that up there. But you're talking about a once-a-year event – in the Home Run Derby.
It's the best event of the All-Star break.
I wonder if it's because you got on it after it had started.
Now, he said he had to do
same thing, same problem.
Is that right? Okay.
And so
it doesn't matter. There's so many people in Jacob's situation
that don't get it at the very beginning.
Coming home from work, coming home from their kids' practice, that when they log on, it should be there to click on.
Especially people living out on the West Coast.
Because if anything, Netflix is wanting to justify, hey, look at how many viewers we had for the Home Run Derby. This is the first year we've had it, and check this out. They're going to try to beat their chest and pump themselves up over this. There were several things that I did like about it, but there's some stuff that if they're going to continue to do this, I believe it's a 3-year contract they have with Major League Baseball, they've got to clean some things up.
And I don't know how you missed that, but I'm sure that's going to be somebody on their team was watching and said, are you kidding me, Netflix? This isn't the first thing that pops up. So I guarantee you that'll be fixed next year. And that's one of those things that if you've ever thrown an event or run an event, there's some things that slip under the radar that you would think would be
trial and error. You're going to learn from it.
Would be so obvious, and I think they'll fix that. But let's get back to the event itself. You know, they go back to the old school format with the swings. You got the 20 swings and the 15.
Loved it. Yeah, loved it.
I didn't know how I would feel about it personally, just because in a perfect world, we get
Schwarber?
No, what's the Cincinnati?
Oh, you talk about
Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier.
Yeah.
In a perfect world,
2015,
we get Todd Frazier. That kind of atmosphere, that kind of show.
Well, if Harper and Schwarber would have met each other, that would have been it.
And anyone that doesn't remember what Jacob's referring to, Todd Frazier in 2015 when he played for the Reds was in the home run derby there in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark and had a comeback win under the format with the clock where his brother was pitching to him and he was having his brother, hey, hurry, throw the pitch,
was
throw
it
the
that
pitch.
he beat? Do y'all remember who he beat?
I believe it was Yoenis Cespedes.
But yeah, it was amazing.
I'm gonna look
and
it
it
up.
captured the attention, and everyone was like pulling for him because there he is in Cincinnati. He's not even a home run hitter, but he got in a groove on that night, and he hit all those home runs there. And like you said, he was going up against the clock, and the clock was just about to strike zero when he finally hit his final.
It was actually Los Angeles Dodger Jock Peterson.
Jock
who he beat.
Peterson. That's right. I remember that.
And
That's right.
And there's been some really special ones where, like a guy just goes like on a run and you're sitting there watching like 30-something.
Hamilton, when he was at Yankee Stadium,
Yes.
Josh Hamilton, he put on a show. Mark McGuire at Fenway Park put on a show. There's been multiple. Griffey in Baltimore.
That's one that just stands out so
and
much.
So when the clock was at its best, it was awesome, right? But then there's also years where the clock gives you, and you're like, man, there's not a whole I think back to watching Chipper and Matt Olson and some of these guys that tried to do it in that format and really just weren't very good at it.
Matt Olson did pretty good. It was just the guys that he faced just did a little bit better.
Yeah, but you know, so there's just some performances.
Matt Olson would have been probably in the finals in this format if he were a guy participating again. If you look at his performance from last year, he's possibly in the finals because swing for swing, and that's funny you say that because I actually looked into this because of just as the diehard Braves fan that I am, how did Matt Olson do as far as pitches that he swung at? If he was swinging at a ball, it was going out. So
he's got a great eye.
The clock was not his friend because he was patient.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where I was going with this next is I think this will incentivize people to participate because they're not going against the clock. They're
not going to get exhausted.
They're not going to get rushed. They can sit back and they can kind of wait. I hate Phillies fans. They drive me nuts. I thought
that was fun last
I thought
night,
the
though.
pageantry of the booing every time somebody took a pitch.
That's them.
Was so them, and it was awesome.
Let me ask you guys this. We all know you got 20 swings, then 15 swings, then 15 swings. Should there also be a limit at how many pitches you can take? That, you know what, I'm sorry, your guy pitching not any good. That's going to count against you, and that's just the way it is. Maybe there should be like a 30 pitch limit. That and they start counting it down with 10 to go. Say, hey, you only got 10 pitches
Maybe
left.
you can't take 5 in a row.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I wouldn't want anything too strict just because I think there's some gamesmanship to it. But for anyone that's just joining us, we're discussing the home run derby that took place last night there in Philadelphia, and it was broadcast on Netflix. And your winner was Jordan Walker. He defeated the hometown kid, Kyle Schwarber, really going on a run at the end. I think he had, what was it? He had 4 swings left?
He hit on his last 6 swings, he hit home runs to win the thing.
Unreal.
Last
Unreal
6
comeback.
swings. Yeah, it was tremendous.
And I even told my wife, I said, I think Schwarber kind of has this wrapped up because the only way, and this is while Walker's hitting, the only way that Jordan Walker's going to win this thing is if he hits 5 or 6 home runs in a row. And sure enough, he started, and my wife was saying, hey, you might be right. You might be right. And that in our living room, we know he's an Atlanta kid, not necessarily a hometown kid, but to us Braves fans, he is. Yeah. He's from the area, and his story very unique, very neat. But I just wanted, because just like what Jacob said, Phillies fans being who they were, I appreciate it. But I wanted them to eat some crow, and they had to. They had to. With him going on that comeback, we were jumping up and down in our living room. That part of the home run derby was absolutely spot on. They did a good job, and what a great presentation by those players to bring us back into this. I call it the old format. This was the best way to do it.
Think about this. His value, Walker's value, skyrocketed last night. He became a well-known player. He got life-changing money out of it.
Got $1 million for winning.
But he's going to be on the radar of a lot of people from this point forward.
Andy, we talked about this off air, but he won $1 million. Tell why that's significant to this specific player.
Yeah, so it's very significant because he's still on his rookie contract. So this season, he's not making Juan Soto money, which, by the way, he would have beat Juan Soto if he performed last night, if he had the guts to step up.
He's making just over the MLB minimum.
So
right?
he's making Jordan Walker is making $800,000. That sounds like a lot of money to a lot of people, and it is. But in the world of Major League Baseball, that's little money.
Yeah, that's almost Major League. I think the Major League minimum is like $700,000. Yeah,
so
he's just $100,000.
Yeah, he's making $800,000 a year right now, and he just got $1 million. Hey Jim, someone's calling you, buddy. Hey, take it on air. See who it is.
My bad, man. I usually put that thing on silent.
Hey,
totally.
we can play,
it's a robocall, by the way.
We can play off of it. We can say it was Jordan Walker heard us talking about him. But so he made $1 million last night by winning that competition, and like seeing the interaction with his parents and his grandmother, that part of the thing was like hearing Barry Bonds say, "Listen, man, you've got my attention," and that says something. I think Barry Bonds is like one of the most like selfish, like me people, but for him to kind of show that love, because Barry's like, dude, I know home run hitting, like I'm the home run king type deal, which we all know in theory he is, but it's really Hank Aaron. But again, another conversation for another day. But for Barry Bonds to kind of give him that respect said something, and I appreciated that. Albert Pujols, another guy, they gave him his flowers. Something that I know you use that term a lot. They did a great job as far as interacting with that interview. So that part of it was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, for sure. I got another question about, and this is something we've seen for a while, but do you think that colored ball,
the magenta,
when they go to the, I guess not the bonus ball or whatever.
It used to be called the money ball.
It used to be called the money ball. All right.
Do you think that affects them being able to, because we didn't see anybody hit one of those out until the final round, and then it was just one, but then our boy comes back to do it to win it.
You must not have heard the controversy. So accidentally, one of the balls that was pitched to Jordan Walker in the money ball round, when it was supposed to be the magenta, was a regular baseball, and Phillies fans are taking that and running with it. That's why we lost.
I did not know about that.
Oh, it is, yes.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Phillies fans are making a big deal about that.
That sounds like Phillies fans.
It does, doesn't it? Go eat a cheesesteak.
Listen, if it happened to the Braves, you guys would be doing the same thing.
Go eat a cheesesteak is what I've got to say.
Love me a good cheesecake, man.
I said cheesesteak.
Oh.
Not cheesecake.
Cheesesteak.
Philly.
I love me a good cheesesteak.
You like both of them.
I do.
But listen, all I'm going to say, I'm being really mean to the Philly fans right now, and I understand
they're mean to everybody. They booed Santa.
Well, listen, I understand that I'm being mean to them, but all I'm saying is that a lot of them would benefit from Be the New You. Jim Gum, can you plug Be the New You for just a second? Because these Phillies fans need to take part.
Yes, Be the New You. Cheesesteaks are probably not something you want to do if you want a new you. So I need to stop. You need to stop tempting me like this.
I just threw
not
Jim
even
off.
A cheesecake or cheesesteak, either one of them. No, it's just a good program that I'm on, trying to lose some weight.
Trying to turn into a beefcake.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Hey, you're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We're going off the rails a little bit. We've got a lot more to talk about when we come back.
After a quick timeout, stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Cleveland Tire Center's 50th anniversary blowout. Celebrating 50 years of keeping Cleveland rolling. With huge tire specials on Bridgestone, Goodyear, and Firestone. Plus big service specials. And the return, a Bigfoot monster truck. On display July 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then, the Bigfoot Card Crush, Saturday, July 18th at 2 p.m. with free hamburgers and hot dogs beginning Saturday, July 18th at 11 a.m. Owner Andy Thompson says thank you, Cleveland, for 50 years. The Cleveland Tire Center 50th anniversary blowout. Plus the return of Bigfoot monster truck. July 16th, 17th, and 18th at Cleveland Tire Center.
4699 North Lee Highway, where the name says 50 years.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardee's. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
It's time to register for Bradley County Parks and Recreation Youth Fall Ball, Baseball, and Softball. Register online at bradleyparks.com. Deadline is July 31st. bradleyparks.com or call 728-7035.
If hip or knee pain is holding you back, it's time to move forward with the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained total joint surgeons specialize in advanced hip and knee replacements, personalized around you and the life you want to live. At CSMO's dedicated orthopedic surgery center, our surgeons lead the way with the latest techniques, like direct anterior hip replacement and quad-sparing knee replacement in a setting that's safe, efficient, and promotes faster recovery. Thousands have trusted Center for Sports Medicine with their hips and knees. Take the next step at sportmed.com.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Whether you hurt yourself while playing sports, suffer an accident, or take a fall, injuries can happen unexpectedly. The emergency room isn't your only choice. The Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Urgent Care offers an alternative to the ER that just can't wait. And we've got the All-Star game tonight. I'm excited about the All-Star game. I always am. To me, baseball has far and away the best All-Star game in professional sports. To me, it's not even close.
I believe I agree with that, although I do think the Major League Baseball All-Star Game has kind of lost a little bit of the flair that it used to have. And I think part of it is the problem with the fan vote. And you gave me a hard time because of the way I attack it. And I say that because I'm one of those guys that votes all Braves because I want to get my guys in there. And I think you're 100% justified in feeling that way, and that's part of the problem because I look at these rosters, and we had mentioned the 1999 All-Star Game yesterday on the show where you had the best of the best, where if you walked into that clubhouse and you happened to be a rookie or a second-year player that made the All-Stars, you kept your mouth shut because you were among giants. Yeah. Now you look at it, and like Ben Rice, Riley Green, you see some of these younger guys that it just doesn't have the same aura to it as when you walked into a clubhouse that had Cal Ripken Jr. in it, or that had Chipper Jones in it, or had Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson. It's not the same
and
feel.
Here's the difference between this, is that you would have years where you'd have a big name starting, but his stats for the first half really didn't justify it. So you'd like, do you want the big name or you want the guy with the best stats? It was a give and take thing. And for years, there were years where the big name guys probably didn't even deserve to be on a team, much less starting. But that's just the way it worked out. But I always enjoyed seeing, the big names play against each other for the first 3, 4, 5 innings. These days, heck, they're pulled out by the third and fourth inning. But a lot of times you'd have guys play the entire game. You don't see that anymore.
It's like baseball is like the one standing that still has like a pretty good All-Star game. I think back to when the NFL All-Star game was like
the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl was like something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And now we all know it's
they play flag football.
It's a joke.
But now the MLB is dealing with the same kind of stuff. All these pitchers are just saying, "Nah, I'm good." And in my head, I can't really rationalize it because you're pitching one inning. Like you're gonna pitch one inning. You're telling me you can't go out there and get 3 outs. Like that's too strenuous on your body. The fans have voted you in. You're one of the best players in the MLB, but you're opting out.
It should be an honor to get to do it.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. It drove me crazy in 2002 when they couldn't finish the game because they ran out of pitchers. It went 11 innings and it ended up in a tie. That was ridiculous. What they should have done, well, I'm not even going down that road. Here's what interleague play changed the All-Star game because it used to be a real pride factor. National League versus American League. We don't see these guys ever except in the World Series. You might play each other in spring training, but that's it.
Yeah.
But ever since interleague play, there's not that league versus league pride factor. Man, the National League used to they would do whatever it would take to beat the American League because they felt like the National League was the superior league, and boy, they whooped up on the American League for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since interleague play has come in, it's not the same. It's just not.
Yeah, there's a few contributing factors. I do think that's definitely one of them, along with the voting process. And one thing, as much as I get excited, and I promise you, I am excited to watch this All-Star game tonight. But one issue is that you're taking for an entire season. Like at the end of the year, we're going to say, oh, well, so-and-so was an all-star. And you'll look at his numbers and say, God, he had a terrible year because his second half was terrible. That happens a lot. That does happen.
It does.
So I think going back to what you're saying, Jim, that sometimes the guys that have the track record, that have been there, done that, and have proven they're all-stars year after year, sometimes when they start off a little slow, they still deserve to be an all-star because we know what they're about to do. Like, I think there's some middle ground to that conversation.
Yeah, I tell you what, and this goes way, way back, and I think it was 1968 or 69. Reggie Jackson went to the All-Star game with 37 home runs. He was on pace to break Roger Maris's all-time record. He only hit 10 home runs in the second half.
That's crazy.
He ended up with 47. But, I mean, stuff like that happens where you get guys. And Reggie, that was the first year Reggie, because he had such an amazing year.
That's when he was with the A's, right?
With the A's.
Yeah.
You know, he became a star. And then, of course, a couple years later, you're wearing an A's hat. A couple years later at Detroit's Tiger Stadium, Reggie Jackson hit a 530-foot home run. It almost hit it completely out of Tiger Stadium, hit a transformer up above the roof, and the ball came back onto the field. But you get guys that make a name for themselves in these all-star games. I mean, well, we don't know what Jordan's going to do tonight, but he made a name for himself in the home run derby. We've seen guys. Steve Garvey's a good one. 1974, he was a write-in starter. He was not on the ballot. You had to physically write his name on the card and put it in, and he became won the MVP that year, 1974 All-Star game, Steve Garvey. So you see guys come out of nowhere and become a big star. Of course, he proved that he was deserving of it. Now, there were some guys that were just a flash in the pan, but I just think it's cool to see new guys come in, mix it up with some of the veterans out there.
So that's one thing, and I didn't know the answer to this, so I had to look. And, of course, Jordan Walker won the home run derby last night. He's one of those guys that they got to come participate in the home run derby. He is not an all-star.
That's right. I see. How do y'all feel about that? Should a guy that's –
They're hard-pressed to get people to participate in the home run derby, so they make exceptions. Okay. They want the best power hitters or guys that they think can put on a good show or just willing to do it. But that's one thing I feel like almost if you're in the home run derby, you should be an all-star because – after that performance last night, as a fan, hey, I want to see if he hits a home run in the All-Star game.
You know what would be cool is if you win the home run derby, you're automatically added to the roster, even if you're not already on it.
That adds a little incentive.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with them going outside the All-Star list because there's guys that they're home run hitters. Like, that's why they're in the lineup. They may have 30 home runs, but their not ERA, their batting average
230
is maybe 230.
Hey, I want to correct myself. He is on the roster.
But there are guys that
he
are
is on
not.
the roster this year.
Yeah. So, but like, I'm okay with them going at, like, the home run derby is about hitting home runs. That doesn't mean that you're the best fielder. That doesn't mean that it means that you're really good at taking that ball and putting outside of the field of play.
I would have loved to have seen Adam Dunn in the home run derby back when he played for the Reds. I mean, he was never an all-star, but he could hit the baseball a long ways.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So I'm okay with that. I like the fact, like, if you're not, it gets you like an automatic all-star, but like, you can be on the roster. Doesn't mean you have to go in the game or anything. Like, you can be on the roster, and if they need you to pinch hit in a spot or something like that, would be awesome. But
I caught myself there. I was looking at the American League reserves instead of that, and I didn't see his name. But hey, I think it's time for our Dadgum segment, because the people want it, we want it. Jim Gum in our Dadgum segment.
Dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
Dadgum. Dadgummit.
Dadgum.
Dadgummit.
Get it and go to the goal line with a dadgum ball.
Daggone it. Dad blame it.
Dadgummit. No.
Okay. So obviously, I heard this on the Paul Feinbaum show.
Oh boy!
I think it was last week.
We've been giving Paul some love.
Anyway. So this guy, he's calling. I don't even think it was Paul. I think it was one of the fill-ins for Paul. He goes, "Hey, what do you think about the SEC conference?" That drives me crazy. Do y'all know where I'm coming from?
The Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, it's like saying the Southeastern Conference. But he goes, the SEC Conference. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's the par for the course on that show, I believe.
I let little things. I'm so shallow as an individual. I let little things like that bother me.
Yeah.
And I literally, in my car, says, it's not the SEC Conference.
Dadgummit.
It's either the SEC or the Southeastern Conference. It's not the SEC Conference.
It's funny that you say that, because Jacob gave me a look earlier. Anytime Jacob says something that might be a little off, I'll correct him, and he just looks at me like, "Was that necessary?" But yeah.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so I get words. And
I'm not talking about when you read.
No, I also have it comes with the processing, so
Okay.
sometimes words kind of get mixed up in my head. So I'll say things, I know what I'm trying to say. Like, I was trying to say the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's.
We've been talking about.
He said the NFL All-Star game.
All-Star game.
And
I didn't even catch it.
And I said, the Pro Bowl.
It happens all the time to me. But I looked over at him because he knows me.
Yeah,
We've been friends long enough, and he corrected me, and I looked at him like, "Thanks, bro." But no, I'm with you.
Just trying to help you out, Slim Money Mason.
That's one of those that's just a lack of knowledge.
It is, but I heard
SEC conference.
SEC conference.
No.
I'm like, come on, man, that's not.
If he would have said, "Let's talk about the SEC and the conference as a whole,"
yeah, that's different. But not the SEC conference. It's kind of like,
As I said, par for the course on that specific broadcast. But hey, so that very good dadgum segment. I like that one. And I believe from what you said that you wanted to try to stump me and Jacob again
Yes.
today. All right. Do we got time to fit that in, Jacob? We good on time?
3 minutes.
Okay. All right.
We're on the clock. Home run derby. Let's go.
I'll give you a hint.
Old school
Who are
rules.
the only two players to win the league MVP, a World Series MVP, and an All-Star Game MVP? And I'll tell you, there are two guys.
I've got one of them.
They both have the same last name.
I thought I had both,
but they're not related.
So I thought Willie Mays was one.
Mm-mm. No, and I'll tell you, it happened in the 60s.
Oh, because home run derby was 85. Yeah,
no,
first legit home run derby.
didn't say. I said league MVP, World Series MVP, All-Star Game MVP, not home run hitter.
You're on your own here, friend.
So
I'm
it
stumped.
happened in the 60s and 70s. They both played on the same team, and they both had the same last name. I guarantee you Mark Smith knows the answer to this right now.
I feel like I should know the answer to this. So
okay, I'll tell you that.
No.
One was white, one was black.
Okay, give me the criteria though. One more time.
Okay, they won league MVP, regular season MVP, World Series MVP, so they were on good teams that went to the World Series and won it, and All-Star Game MVP, so they were really good players.
So I'm gonna say, just throwing it back, we're gonna go Yankees or Dodgers.
Nope.
Neither of the two?
Nope. You want me to tell you the team?
Sure.
Baltimore Orioles.
Dude, I'm completely shutting down right now.
See, all the older guys out there in their cars, they're going, I know this.
Well, I know the Jim Palmer and that. Like I know the team. So Frank Robinson.
There's one.
Frank Robinson is one.
And who is the third baseman, also known as the vacuum cleaner at third base?
Is it?
It's not Jack.
No.
Brooks
Robinson.
Brooks Robinson.
Yeah, just completely.
Brooks Robinson and Frank Robinson, Baltimore Orioles.
That's a good one. I'll give you that one. You stumped me on that one, but
we've got to get a board up.
I wanted to get something that had All-Star game included.
I should have got that one. I should have got.
We got to get a board up of like the ones that you stump us and like, you know what I'm saying, like keep a running count. How many times?
I try to help you guys when I see you're struggling. You're getting. Listen, and this was kind of unfair. I need to get more that are modern day records, but you guys, because you guys weren't alive when this happened.
But I want to say, like, I should have known that one, and I feel like I did know it. I couldn't find it. I couldn't pull it in. Could not get Brooks in my mind for whatever the reason.
By the way, little story. Frank Robinson was traded from the Reds to the Orioles, and the Reds GM at the time said he's an old 30. Talking about Frank Robinson. The first year he was in Baltimore, he won the Triple Crown.
Yeah,
he was an old 30, all right. We got a guy named Milt Pappas out of it. He was nothing. For the worst trade in Major League history in my
No, I agree with that. But for the longest time, Frank Robinson, up until Shohei Ohtani, was the only player in Major League Baseball to win the MVP in both the American League and the National League.
And Frank Robinson, the first black manager in baseball history. And he was a player manager, too. Hit a home run in his debut with the Cleveland Indians on opening day.
A lot of credit for what the Washington Nationals built there goes to that man, as he was a manager when they were first getting things going again there in Washington under the Nationals name. So
absolutely.
Hadee's no longer with us, because what a great personality and storyteller he was as well.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
We got time to keep going, or are you turning the music on for a reason, Slim Money?
Gotta hit the road.
Go National League.
That's right. All-Star game tonight. I believe it's on Fox, right?
And here on our station. Pre-game at 7, game first pitch at 8 o'clock. Here on ESPN Cleveland, 101.3.
What I'm talking about. For Jim Gum, Jacob Mason, I'm Andy Morris. Hope you guys enjoy the All-Star game. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great evening, everybody.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 101.3. It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Still building pretty good right now, pretty much on schedule.